Alrighty, guys, I'm in the shop now. 2013 Chrysler 200. Now y'all see that warning light right there, ladies and gentlemen? That is a check engine light. Now here's the thing. You know where I'm going with this. Cousin Pookie freaking strikes again. Check engine light on. In for check engine light. Now what I gotta do is I've already scanned it, guys. I got some kind of low coolant circuit low. When you see a code like that, first thing you want to check is the coolant level. All right, now here we go. Look, imagine that. The coolant reservoir, which is where you measure the level of the coolant, is empty. You know what that tells me? There's a leak. All right, so what are you supposed to do now? New mechanics, DIY mechanics, okay? Anybody that's just getting in, I'm sure you veterans know the procedure, or you have your own procedure in place when you faced with this problem. So I want to talk to the new guys. You get a code like that. I can't remember the number. I'm gonna put it in the description. That it's the code name is like circuit low or something like that. When you see that, guys, now what sensor monitors coolant level? There's not a sensor that monitors coolant level. There's a sensor. It doesn't really monitor it, but it can tell you if it's low or high because it's a switch, not a sensor. In other words, it just opens and closes. So when the level of whatever fluid it is that you're monitoring, when that level get below a certain threshold, the switch may open or either close, whichever way the engineers deem necessary. When that happens, bing, a light come on. There's no such switch on the coolant reservoir. I've been fussing about that for years because keep in mind, this is not pressurized. Some of the newer ones have the pressure cap on top of it. I can understand not putting a damn coolant level sensor or switch on the bottle on the ones on the reservoirs that's pressurized. I get that, but this is not pressurized. In other words, this one has a regular radiator cap that's not even on the radiator. It's on the hose. So they switching the cooling system around. My point is, guys, when you see that code, always first thing look for the level of the fluid. Now, as you can see, this is empty. When you got a system that's empty, your job is to find out why it's empty. Okay. Now, a lot of people will look around first. Visual inspection is the first thing you should do. All right. In fact, let's do that. All right. Let's go to the typical locations of a car like this. Yeah, the plastic tees. Okay, now this one on, where's the plastic heater hose? This one, okay, this is 2.4. They got that side box, that distribution box over here. Yeah, and guess what? It's plastic. Uh-oh. We may not even have to pressurize it, guys. Look, I see coolant set, and it's green coolant. Okay, sitting on top of the highest. Look, you can see where it's been leaking right there. In fact, oh, there you go. Yeah, coolant sitting on top of the transmission. That indicates this thing is leaking. Now, here's where Cousin Pookie came into play. From my understanding, they just put a thermostat on it. Look. All right, thermostat go right here. In fact, there's two thermostats on this car. One is inside this distribution housing, and the other one is inside this channel right here. Look, they went on with a worm clamp. Remember, guys, when you're dealing with plastic connections, you might want to go with a tensioner clamp. If you don't have a tensioner clamp, then yeah, use a worm clamp. But it comes with tensioner clamp. So I guess when they took the original tensioner clamp off, they went on with this worm clamp. That's ill-advised, okay? That doesn't maintain constant tension on it. And that could be a problem. But the problem here is, yeah, low on coolant because, oh, look at that. Yeah. Now, if I didn't see that, what I would have proceeded to was take this off and pressurize the system. Put the whole cooling system under pressure. All right, the weakest point of a leak will show up that way. Now, here's the danger, or here's what you have to understand by knowing that when you pressurize the system, wherever the weakest point at, it's going to reveal, its ugly head. That leak is going to reveal its ugly head. All right, in this case, just say if I had to pressurize this, I can visually see that's a leak. I would have started leaking out over here. Now, here's where mechanics get in trouble. They stop their diagnosis right there. Yep, I know what it is. I can see it. That's leaking. All we got to do, ma'am, is replace that and you good. There's a risk and a danger in that, guys. And that risk and danger in that is you could be wrong. Yeah, in fact, there's like a 60% chance you may have other leaks. All right, this is one of those things that you may have to, man, we need to take care of the obvious visual leak that we see, and then we're going to pressurize your system again to see if there's any other leaks. Now, I get it. I know some customers, they don't believe in that. They don't want that. They want 100% accurate, what's going to fix my car? That's all I need to hear. I don't want to hear that start here crap that I hear from the dealerships all the time. And that's dealership favorite line. We got to start here. But in this case, that's exactly what the case is. All right. I had to fix this. And guys, back in the day, we used to, because what seals this to the head is a thermostat, which has a gasket. And on the other, there's a tube under a tube under the bottom that uses an O-ring to seal. All right, but keep in mind this head, I mean, it's aluminum, but from time to time it can get hot. So I stopped selling reseal jobs of these. I just started selling these, and especially depends on if they have high mileage, because over time this will get brittle. It's plastic. It just get brittle, and yeah, it's best to go ahead and replace it to give yourself a peace of mind. Of course, you're gonna get the thermostat that comes with a new seal. All right, and the O-ring that go in the back of here. But yeah, these things leak all the time. I replace them all the time. Okay, so Cousin Pookie simply didn't go far enough. That shop is they do some crazy things over here. I got 2 worm clamps. I got a worm clamp right here. So maybe they put new hoses. Yeah, maybe they put new hoses in a thermostat. Maybe the customer came in for overheating. And they diagnosed it as a thermostat, and they sold that, and that was it. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know if it came in to their shop with low on coolant. Okay? Yeah, thermostat will cause overheating, but so will low on coolant cause your car to overheat. All right? In this case, she's not really complaining about overheating, so technically it's not a recheck. She's complaining about the check engine light. Now, one might wonder how that check engine light come on. Okay, this car, a lot of cars are equipped with where is it at? I can't. Coolant temp sensor. If I was a coolant temp sensor, where would I live? Where would give me the best readings of the temperature of the coolant? Ah, my goodness, it's been a minute. Okay, is that it right here? Somewhere on the head. Guys, I want to wage a bet that that's the coolant. Remember, in order to find out where a sensor is located, you got to understand what it do. All right, a coolant temp sensor is screwed somewhere into a coolant jacket that measures the temperature of the coolant. That information is needed by this guy right here, PCM, the computer, for drivability issues for a lot of things. So that information is needed. Here's my coolant temp sensor. I'm guessing that code is triggered by the fact that there's not enough coolant circulating throughout the head. So when that sensor don't see that, remember, it's inside of a jacket that monitors the temperature of the coolant. If it don't see, I guess, sufficient amount of coolant, it'll just throw a code for circuit low. And you got to check in the light. That could be used. Nah, it can't be used for measuring the level of the coolant level. Okay, you need a switch for that on the bar. Okay, but here's what I'm gonna do. Write an estimate up for this, the thermostat. I'm going with another thermostat, guys. I don't trust nothing Cousin Pookie did, so I need this thermostat. From my understanding, they replaced the thermostat and I guess these hoses. I'm getting a thermostat here, thermostat there, the O-ring back here, and this whole damn housing, because it's plastic and it's high mileage and it's possibility that it's cracked. And then I'm gonna tell the customer we're gonna recheck her system after that. We're gonna fill it up, bleed it properly, fill it up, and check it after that, and go from there. That's what I need you new guys to understand. Okay, this video too long. I'm talking too much, but I just want you to grasp the understanding of where we at and what I'm dealing with. Yes, if this was your own car, you can go rogue. Simply fill it up. A lot of mechanics, they reckless on their own stuff. I'm one. Just fill it up and live with it for a while. But no, this is a customer car that expect nothing but professional, nothing but the best from a shop like this, a shop this size. Guys, I gotta go. That's all I have. I'm gonna write this estimate up, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.